What's up, Meandering Spirits? It's Shane. In this step-by-step guide, you'll learn how to turn logs and a single flame into a raging fire quickly and easily. You'll be roasting marshmallows and hot dogs, or signaling a rescue plane in no time. So, let's get into it. So, to build a fire, the first and most important thing you'll need is wood. Typically, when you get to a campsite or you pick up wood, it comes in something like this, which are just logs, so it's split pieces of wood. This alone is too hard to catch a flame, so you'll need to process it down into smaller chunks, like this, which are sticks, for any flame to take hold. Now, to help the process, we turn those sticks into feather sticks, where we take shavings from these sticks, and then those shavings take a flame really easily, and they're able to create a fire quickly. Some hardware that you'll also need include an axe or a hatchet. I carry a very small compact hatchet when I go camping. It's small and lightweight and can fit in a pack really easily. It's also really good at splitting logs like this into smaller sticks. The next tool you'll need is a knife. Now, any old knife will do, but you want to get something that basically is full tang, so the metal runs all the way through the blade in one single piece. If it does have a hinge, like a collapsible or folding knife, it is a little bit more dangerous to use because if you're batoning it, which I'll demonstrate a little bit later, the blade might close on you and it might end up hurting you. So a nice, strong, thick, full tang knife is best. The last thing you need is matches or some kind of lighter. Starting a fire without something like this is very difficult, using friction or even sunlight to start a fire. So I always carry a pack of waterproof matches when I go camping, or you can use a backup butane lighter. That works also. So the first step you need to do is take these logs and turn them into smaller sticks. Now, to do this, it's fairly easy. You just want to keep splitting this bigger piece of wood into smaller sticks until you get sticks that are about 1/2 inch to 1 inch in diameter. Now, to do this, you stand one of your logs upright. You take another log and your axe. You're going to keep your axe centered in the middle with the grains going parallel. Then you're going to use the other log and basically tap it in and drive it through. And as it's getting close, you can just slow down and then it just splits like that. So now we have a little bit more manageable piece, which is great. So we're going to take these halves and we're going to split them further into smaller and smaller pieces by just repeating the process. You could keep using the axe at this stage, but I prefer to switch to a knife. It's just a little bit more manageable and I have a little bit more control. So basically set it up the exact same way, line it up, take my other piece of wood and baton it down. This is called batoning. Once it gets almost all the way, you can just slow down and just twist it and it comes apart like that. You want to keep repeating this process, again, until you get sticks about that size. Now that we have a nice good pile of sticks, so we're going to turn these sticks into something called feather sticks. Now, feather sticks kind of look like this. We shave down the sides and we create these curls which have a lot of surface area. Now, the thinner the pieces of wood are, the easier it is to take a flame, which makes creating a fire a lot easier. Now, to create these feather sticks, just take one of your sticks. And what I usually do is I take a piece of bark that's come off one of my logs and I just leave it on the ground here. When you shave the sticks, sometimes the shavings do come off, but it's okay, you can collect them and then pile them onto the rest of the feather sticks when you build your fire base. And basically all of those will light on fire as well. So, taking your knife, hold down your stick firmly, and then with your knife grasping it, just slowly come down and start shaving thin slices off, just like so. Okay, find an edge, bring your knife down with some firm, even pressure. These curls will start to develop. If you need to, you can start going a little bit quicker. But basically, these curls will just start curling up on themselves like so. And these curls are paper thin, which is great. This is what you're looking for. Some pieces of wood, if they're too dry, they won't really curl that much. They'll just flake off. But that's okay. You can collect them, and as you can see, all the flakes are being collected on this piece of bark here. So that's good. So as you can see, in a matter of a minute or so, I've shaved it down, and I have a nice good bunch of curls at the end of one stick, which is great. So you want to do this with a few sticks until you have a bundle like so. Now that we've created our feather sticks, the next step is to create a fire base. So before you strike a match or add a flame, it's important to build a proper base. At the bottom, you have highly flammable shavings like these, and then you build on top thinner pieces, and then on top of that, larger sticks, and then on top of that, you can add your logs. This approach ensures that a flame is able to catch very quickly and is able to spread to thicker and larger pieces of wood effectively. So let's move over to the fire pit and I'll show you how a base looks like. Now traditionally there's two types of fire bases you can make. You can make more of a teepee style where you lay sticks in the shape of a teepee, which is pretty good. Basically exposes a flame to a large amount of surface area. Or you can do a log cabin type where you lay sticks down one on top of another like a log cabin. So the first thing I usually do is I take one of my larger pieces of my logs and I just put it there as a base. And I'm going to build on top of this. This adds a nice secure log at the bottom so that any of the embers that fall basically heat this log up, and then if it's wet it can dry off and then catch and keep the flame going on for a very long time. So on that, I basically then take my fire sticks and I start laying them on top, but making sure that I have access to the bottom here so that I can light it right there. So that I lay them all so that the curls are all together, like so. And then for some of them, I'm gonna have the curls a little bit higher up. Now from there, I'm gonna build some larger sticks around it or on top. So to light this base, what you wanna do is strike your match and then bring the flame down at the bottom here and then hold it. You wanna have the flame close to some of these curls so that they catch on fire. And once they do, you can start spreading that flame to other curls, and then hopefully it'll all start to ignite. So here we go, let's try to ignite this and see how it goes. So you want to protect that flame, bring it underneath, and light some of these curls. And you can see they catch pretty quickly because there's a lot of surface area. We can spread that flame. Basically now they're all on fire now. And now the fire should spread to some of the other curls and then eventually to some of these other sticks. As your fire slowly starts to grow, you can reposition some of these logs and sticks so that it can catch the flame a little bit easier. But don't worry, if your fire collapses, you can always build it up again. And because there's embers that are being generated, the fire will be able to regain its strength, and with a little bit of wind as well, it can get bigger and bigger over time. At this stage, what I like to do is usually start to build the outside of my fire base with larger logs to protect the flame, as well as to start transitioning into these larger logs which don't burn as quickly, so that my fire can last for a longer period of time. The other thing that this does is if your fire collapses, it doesn't collapse too far. It only collapses within the bounds of these logs. So as you can see, I've transitioned to more of a hybrid type of fire base, which is a log structure on the outside and a teepee in the center. This by far has the best qualities. It protects the flames and the fire from wind. yet it allows the flame and the fire to grow easily and transition into larger logs so you can have a fire for a longer period of time. Now what you want to do to slowly maintain your fire is to transition to larger and larger logs over time. Again, this helps maintain your fire and it preserves some of your wood for a longer period of time. If they're really small like this, they burn relatively quickly at a high temperature, which, I mean, it's nice, but that means you'll go through your wood pretty quickly. So you want to transition into larger logs like this. Once it kind of burns down a little bit, then you can start adding these bigger logs, and they'll keep your flame, they'll keep the fire going all night long. It's always a good idea to continue to look for wood and chop it into varying pieces and sizes so that if your fire dies down or if it goes down, if you need to bring it up again, you can add smaller pieces. Or if it's raging like this, you want to slow it down, you can add larger pieces to have it sustained for a longer period of time. So there you have it. Now you know how to build and start a fire. So get out there and do it. Practice, practice, practice. Whether you're in your backyard or in the backcountry, knowing how to build and maintain a fire will definitely help make the experience that much better. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.